Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead, and we are going to can some potatoes. And everybody asked if I would bring you along so I can show you how everything's done. So we're going to do this in the dining room. Tom right now is going to get me some jars and some other stuff from the basement and get the canners and stuff out before he comes out and meets with me. Now these potatoes are number 2, so you have to watch, you know what I mean, and make sure that you cut out the bad parts. So what I'm going to do first is, I used to do them with peelings. I do not anymore. I like them without the peelings. And I used to dry can. I won't be doing that anymore either. Not that they don't turn out good, because they do, but because I like how they look in the jar better with water. So it's up to you. If you want to dry can, you can. If you want to do hot pack, you can do that as well. I will be cold packing these. So what I'm going to do is chop these into chunks. You don't want them too thin, because if you get your potatoes too thin, they get mushy, and you don't want mushy potatoes. So like with that one, I do maybe half. And I've got a big metal container of water right here that I'm pouring everything into. Now to make your potatoes really, really good, make sure you do keep them in water, because they will turn black if you don't. So keep them all in the water. Then when I get done, what I'll do is have him go out and dump this big pan into my sink. Once it's in the sink, then I will continually keep rinsing until I feel I've gotten as much starch out as I possibly can. So, you know, you're gonna rinse them really good before they go in the jars, and then when you pull them out of the jars, you're gonna rinse them really good again. So let me do a second potato here. Tom just cleared out the trash bag so that I can keep putting my peelings in there. Because with our drains here, I don't want all that going down our sink. And we don't have a compost. We don't have pigs or chickens or anything that can eat them. So that's what I'm going to do with 50 pounds of potatoes. I'm going to keep peeling and cutting, peeling and cutting. And you can see the starch already starting to leave them. I don't wash the potatoes first, because I know that I'm going to rinse them and rinse them and rinse them and rinse them and rinse them. Believe me, they'll be far, far cleaner than what you think. So I'm going to get this whole 50 pounds done, and then we'll take it to the next step. All right, so we have the first bowl pretty full. So we have my stopper in there halfway. Tom's going to dump them in there. Look at how that water is so full of starch and dirt. Hold on. All right, now I'm going to put the stopper in there, and he's going to pour them in there. And they're going to soak in my sink for a while. And then I'll drain them again and rinse them. You need to rinse that bowl out and fill it back up again. Look, I got all my jars washed. They're up and ready to go. So we're about a little over a quarter of the way through the bag already. So we're going to get back at it. Alright, so what we've done is put the potatoes in the jar. And then Tom added water to them. I do not salt my potatoes like any of my other vegetables. I don't do. You want to take it up to the 1-inch headspace and make sure that you debubble. And then push them down, as you know. Make sure you fit as many as you can in your jar. We've got our second batch. We're probably going to have to do, what do you think, maybe 4 canner fulls? I don't think he brought up enough jars.
Yeah, I'm going to go down and get more jars.
Yeah.
That's pretty evident.
So then, even though it's just water and potatoes, always get in the habit of washing those rims. Never skip that step. I don't care if you're just canning water. Just always make sure you do that step. I've had my lids in warm water. And then we're going to put the rings on them. My canner will take 7 quarts at a time. Make sure you do it fingertip tight. So we've got 1 sink full of potatoes that we're rinsing right now. We've got 7 there in the canner. He can put the lid on it and we can start it. I'm going to fill the next 7, and we've only got just a few potatoes yet to peel up. We're getting there, but it's going to be a long process today because we're probably going to have to fill these, well, probably 3 each, probably, I would think. So, yeah, thanks for coming along with us, and we'll be back. I'll say, now both of them are spitting steam, so a solid stream. So now I'm going to let that do that for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to put the jigglers on them. Alright, so the first batch just finished. It takes 40 minutes, so make sure you let it vent for 10. Once it's done that, you can put your jigglers on it, and once it comes to then you can adjust your heat, and like I know pretty much the sweet spots on my stove, and I'm sure you'll learn that on yours as well. Now it needs to come down to pressure completely on its own. Do not ever take off the pressure before it's ready, because I did that one time and I broke a jar. It just like blew it up. So it's not a good scene. I know that we have more that we got to can, but we're going to have to take it at its time. So altogether we got 29 quarts out of that 50 pounds, which I think is really good. We have 14 more to go in, so 7 in each canner. And then I'm not going to run a canner for 1 quart of potatoes. So I put that in the refrigerator in water, and I'm thinking I might add it to tonight's dinner somehow, and then maybe make it for breakfast as well. As long as it's in the fridge and it's in cold water, they won't turn black and they'll be fine. But yeah, that's 29 quarts. That was a lot. And I'm really proud of Tom. He helped me a lot today too. And when he gets home, he's going to go pick out all the red tomatoes that he can. We're going to dice them up. I'm going to try something new. Like I said, I wasn't going to pressure can tomatoes anymore. But I'm going to try something different and see if it works. Because I'm going to give Courtney's mom some potatoes and some diced tomatoes. Have them drop them off to him on Monday. So I'm going to try something different. And then yesterday I made 5 quarts of tomato sauce. I had one that didn't set. I used a unbranded lid on that one and it didn't set. So with that case, you can either A, use it in something within the next couple days, or B, you could put it into a quarter a gallon bag, lay it flat, and freeze it. So you don't have to waste it. You never have to waste something if it doesn't seal for some reason. You can use it up. You can reprocess it. You can always do a lot of different things with it. So I'm pretty happy with today. My goal is I want to get that 50 pounds of carrots as well. This should be enough because we have 20-some quarts downstairs, which we won't have that many because we're going to give some to Courtney's mom. But we should have about 45 quarts of potatoes down there. And we still use fresh, obviously. So I think my goal is to have enough potatoes and carrots to last for at least the full year, maybe into a second year, so that we can focus our garden and what we process more on other things. So like I want to stock up on the tomatoes this year and the tomato sauce. And you know, get that so that there's enough for an entire year, because we planted probably, I don't know, 60, 70 plants of tomatoes. So we'd like to use that space for something else. So, you know, we're trying to preserve what we think that we're going to need, if that makes sense, so that we can adapt our garden next year. We'll still plant tomatoes next year, just not as many. And we haven't figured out what we're going to make instead of its place. But, you know, with times being the way they are, and if, like, thank you, Charlie, for telling us about the potatoes. 50 pounds for 14 bucks. That's really a good deal. And, you know, when you can get a chance to get a price like that, grab them and preserve them. Even if you have to, and I seen Miss Lori, she's just freezing all of hers. You can go over and look at that. I do have a few on freezing them. You can dehydrate your potatoes. You can, you know, freeze them. You can can them. There's so many different things you can do with them. And, like, I didn't do any other stuff this year with them, just canning them. Because I still have, I think, 5 or 7 quarts of French fries downstairs. Plus, I have, I know a package in the freezer that I did in French fries. And I do have some that I dehydrated hash browns. So, I'm just doing these. So, you know, anything that you can get on good sale. And I seen, I think it's Rebel, but I know her real name, but she got like tons of tomatoes really, really cheap, and some peppers too. So when you can do that during the season, pick them up, preserve them, because you never know what's going to happen. Hopefully nothing, but you never know, and you're ready. So I'll come back when these start coming out and we get the second one going and see how beautiful they are. And it was really cute actually to watch Tom. He's like going through them and he goes, look at, they're clear now. And I'm like, that's what you need to do. So when you do your potatoes, just keep washing them and washing them. Well, you know, rinsing, don't put soap. Until it comes clear. And then when you use them and you open them, you drain them, rinse them off really good then, and they are some spectacular potatoes. Alright, so there they are, 28 quarts of canned potatoes. Aren't those beautiful? Look at, you can still see some of them still cooking. Look at that. They say that's a sure sign that they're going to seal if they're still cooking. So far everything, that one's sieved a little bit, but I think it'll still set, hopefully, because I still have a quart of that we didn't put into the canner to use. Now we have 16 pints of diced tomatoes that are going in the canner, and then we'll be starting dinner. Good thing we're doing a canned dinner. You guys have a blessed day. Be a blessing. We'll see you at supper.